From SEMA Day 1 and having a fantastic time. And of course, we're strolling around and we had to drop by Auto Fiber. So, how you doing, Ian?
Good to see you guys. It's been a great show so far.
Yeah, it's been fun to connect. I mean, you're getting a lot of traffic coming by your booth.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you got Kyle the man over there helping people out.
For sure, yeah.
So you guys, one of the things I think is cool about Auto Fiber is all the names you come up with, and they're not like complicated names like the Whizzer, but they're, you got the barrel blade and the Mitt on a stick, and now this new thing behind us here, these roller rags. Where did you come up with that? I mean,
I think just coming up with goofy, fun names actually helps with the branding. So, I think the ideas behind the products are just as important as the product, like building the idea in the mind of the consumer. So I think having these cute, goofy names makes it more fun and makes it more memorable and sets the products apart. Really, because from a product standpoint, we're trying to make higher quality, better products. And it's easy for another company to come in and make a knockoff that's inferior. So we want to build the idea and the brand in the mind of the customer. Not just the Auto Fiber brand, but kind of like sub-brands, which, Mitt on a stick, barrel blade, roller rags, dreadnought. We want those to be...
Those are all awesome.
Yeah, we want those ideas and then mind of the consumer. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think that part of the problem with the challenge that I'm sure you face all the time is you're dealing with something people consider a consumable in most cases.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are just completely blind to the fact that there's a better quality microfiber. If they've never come in and put something in their hands and felt it, like the Dreadnought or the double wide, and you get the feel of it's a different material. It's not the same. It's not a Costco rag.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that's for sure true with microfiber is you can't really tell how it's going to work by just feeling it, right? So a towel can feel maybe a little bit rough, but actually not scratch or still be safe. And it's not something you can necessarily feel with your hands. And it comes down to the fibers on a microscopic level, really how thick and how fine the fibers are.
Well, and I think if people would take the time to actually talk to you guys and understand the difference in the towels, like twisted versus, open, and there's so many different, I think people falsely believe, well, I'm just going to get something that's really, really fluffy and soft.
Yes.
And that can actually scratch more than something that's not if it's the wrong material.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, in a lot of ways, all of our products are really designed based upon feedback from detailers and professionals. And people are coming to us with problems, and we're trying to create solutions for them. And so that's where so many of these products have come from. Just even from something so simple like our Mr. Everything towel, which is used a lot for coating leveling.
Yeah.
It's got a really fine surface yarn, but the towel is made with a really thick backing. So it makes the towel more firm, so that when you're wiping a coating that's creating friction,
you don't have
it's
to
not
worry
crumbling,
about drag.
Right?
Some of the coatings that drag across will grab the towel, and the next thing you know, it's all
exactly
a mess.
So it's small things like that kind of set our product apart and make it a more premium product. And also, that's not the big box stores aren't going to go out of their way to make a product to that detailed of a spec and solve a problem for such a niche thing. They're just trying to make towels as cheap and affordable as possible because their main selling point is the cost of the towel.
Right. Well, and it's quantity. For them, it's quantity instead of quality. Whereas something like a Dreadnought or if you buy a quality drying towel, you really like that drying towel.
Yeah.
You have your favorites, and they soak up so much water, and they're heavier. If you just grab a box store microfiber and try to dry a car, most of them don't even soak up water because they're not designed to actually absorb things.
Yeah, and so, based on feedback and stuff. And so we try to make a bunch of different types of products with lots of different variations and stuff, and then gather feedback and improve the product over time. So with these tools and stuff, like the Mitt on a stick or the Reacher tool, we're redesigning them every time and trying to improve them based upon feedback from the customer. So like with the Mitt on a Stick product, we're like on like the 5th generation of the version of the product.
And they're phenomenal. We used them I was using one this summer at an event, and they're just great.
Yeah, and based on watching them being used at that event, like the new design is
changing
changing,
oh,
right?
Wow.
So
Wow, cool.
Yeah, so based upon observing that, talking to the guys using it, we're changing the design, and so the design will be updated again, hopefully by next year.
Yeah, which I mean, and you think about it, that one product is so versatile in the sense if anybody's doing like RVs or boats or something that's taller where you're up and down and up and down and up and down a ladder, it's a huge time saver. And I don't think people they think about the products like, oh yeah, that's cool, it's a Mitt on a stick, I can reach something. No, if you're having to get up on a ladder, move a ladder, the danger of having that ladder around the vehicle you're working on and all that, plus all the research that you guys put into them. It's just like applicators. We were talking to somebody about an applicator, and you guys, they love the applicators you have because of the way you've designed them.
Yeah.
And that's really, I think, the difference between most premium products versus just a run-of-the-mill product. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
well, I think one of the things, especially when I think about the Mitt on the Stick, is like it really hits to the fact of longevity of a career. Because when you're young, man, jumping up, down, climbing all over stuff, you don't think about it, right?
Yeah.
But you start getting mid-30s, 40s, your body starts feeling it. You're like, all right, I got to work a little smarter.
Exactly. So the first thing that people say when they see the Mitt on the Stick, they say, oh, it's great for RVs and big vehicles and stuff, and big trucks. And I'm like, no, it even works great for small cars, right?
Because you don't have to bend down.
You don't have to bend down.
Yeah.
Like I will use it just so I don't have to bend down. Like I don't mind. I go to the gym and stuff like you guys and do squats and deadlifts and stuff, but I still don't like to bend down to like wash the rocker panels of my car. Right?
I mean, I was hoping that there'd be some auto fiber knee pads coming out pretty quick. But
well, we do have. We've been selling these the kneeling mats, which we didn't bring.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
Yeah.
If you don't have one of those, you need two.
Those are
so
awesome.
SEMA at booth 51, 169 is auto fire, and that's how I'm doing it. By the way, you just look at the ground; it's right there.
I'm never looking at the ground
because you don't have as much ADD as I do.
It's all good.
So come down here, check these guys out if you have not looked at them already, and you get your.
And you got to check out the new double wide, right?
This is going to be a new product that Kyle's idea. The double wide. It's a larger wash pad, kind of like a new version of the flat out, which we designed with Shine Supply, and it just works awesome. Bigger surface area to wipe,
And it is stiffer too. I mean, you can tell just by looking at it that it's a little stiffer. You get that. It doesn't just kind of shrink all up once it gets wet.
Yep.
So
that's awesome, man. Yeah. So come by the Auto Fiber booth. Thank you so much for always being so amazing.
Good seeing you guys.
Yep.
Love watching
Absolutely.
what you're doing. I mean, roller rags. I mean, every time I see a new product, I'm like, all right, that's cool.
That's a great idea. I'm like, that's a good idea.
I wish I would have thought about that, but then I do software, so
there you go.
A lot of our ideas come from people.
Yeah, it's the
too,
same thing. It's a similar situation. The software comes
100,
from customers' ideas.
100%, and that's actually where I learned that from. Was because I studied software interface design.
That's right.
And that's the way that you design an interface is you don't let the programmers design it.
No.
You sit a customer down at a computer and observe them using it. So from my career of designing products for microfiber, I'm using that same philosophy.
That's cool.
Of putting the product in the customer's hands, observing them using it, asking them questions, gathering feedback.
Yeah.
And that really is why and what sets auto fiber apart. And that's our main value proposition.
And I see that 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just that little tiny bend in the Mitt on a Stick.
Yeah.
You think that, it's bent. No,
it makes a significant
it makes
all the difference.
It makes a huge difference. And that came from customers asking for a bent pole. And then we went and we bent it at every degree. We bent it from 4 degrees to 16 degrees. Tested all the different versions, and you would be super surprised at how different. 8 between 10 degrees makes a difference. So the bend is at like 7.5 or something.
Oh well, that's
we
cool.
Like dialed it in like perfect. Because if the bend is too much, the thing just like the centrifugal force of the pole, like you can't control it, and
Yeah.
if it's not enough, like the head is in the way.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So,
That was
That's
something
awesome.
that I never would have guessed
No.
designing the product, but when the customers asked us to make it with a bend, like it actually took a lot of work and research to figure it out.
so if you want a towel company that is listening to your input, you got to connect with Auto Fiber. If you're at the show, please come by. What was the booth again, Rod?
51,169.
69. I actually could see that this time. So.
51,169. I've been
Anyway.
doing that. This is like the 10th booth, and you finally figured out how I'm finding out what the numbers are.
I thought
It's like,
you were
how do you
looking
know all
at
the
the
numbers are? Because
wall.
when we
I'm like,
walk in the booth,
dude.
I look at the number. And
Dude, I'm just talking to people. You're looking at the
I'm
ground.
staring at the
so.
He's a
Wow.
genius.
Anyway.
Rod's a
no,
genius.
I'm
Yeah.
just a yeah.
He's just
whatever.
ADD. So.
I'm
Anyway,
ADD.
you guys have a great day. Live from SEMA. Thanks for dropping
joining in.
See ya.